Okie dokie, well, I'm over here playing a few Reindeer games with this power supply. It's supposed to be 50 volts, excuse me, and it keeps dropping off and doing weird things. And without a good power supply, you don't have a good foundation, and who knows what's going to happen. So I started exploring this board. This is a one of those amp things. It's a Yamaha. It's a CA800. Anyway, this is the power supply board. And this cap, I just touched the thing and it fell over. And I got to looking at this. I don't know. Let me see if I can show this to you. Anyway, I don't know if you can see this real well, but that lead there is literally corroded off of there. I don't know if it's this glue. A lot of these are glued down. Cap itself is all kind of weird looking. It's all bulby looking, and I don't know, maybe it leaked and sawed through there, but it's not in good shape. And that lead that hasn't been unsoldered yet is just a big pile of goo. And I had this happen on another cap on another amp, and I'm beginning to think that this glue is got some issues. See, like here, they glued these heat sinks, and this stuff is all crunchy and looking very conductive. I mean, it looks like it's burned, but it isn't. So I'm going to replace all these caps on here, see if this straightens this up. We'll find out in a little bit. Okay. So I've been chasing this distortion around, and all it is a little tiny it's a little set of transistors, a little bit of feedback. I guess it's to make up the gain from this filter. This is a little high and low cut filter with a pad in it. And so it comes in here, drives this transistor. These are all direct coupled. Drives this. This is cap coupled on the output, which is kind of weird. Anyway, I've been going around and around, and basically these voltages, this is the actual side, this voltage is screwed up. Anyway, I soldered some connections just guessing and stumbled onto something here. So what I'm going to do, apart from annoy you with this tone, is unplug the soldering iron and touch the base of this transistor. Neat. Thanks, Ray. Ray's over here picking up the pieces because I can't keep my head out of my butt. I actually unplugged it.
Okay. So,
well, what he did was I unplugged it and heated the transistor with it so it wouldn't short it out.
Okay.
Here, watch. Ready?
Yeah. Yep. There it goes.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
So the $60 question is, if we get a transistor to replace it. I don't know. Let me put you away here. Well, so we're back. This is kind of a weird little circuit. I really don't understand exactly what this does. I mean, I do in the big scheme of things, but I'm not sure about this. This is a little feedback circuit, and I think it's just to make up some loss gain. It's just a little bulk gain amp. I tried to talk the boss into letting me bypass that. That's what that is. And we'll just let the good times roll, but no. So I really got this baby apart. While I've got it apart, I'm going to give the face a nice, careful bath. And poke around, and I'm going to replace all the electrolytics in there, which begs the, opens the door, opens it, a little segue there, which is what happens if you replace all the electrolytics and it doesn't fix things. In this particular project, it would have fixed the power supply, but it would not have fixed this little filter board. That problem is a thermal problem by this transistor that seems to have escaped. It's lurking around here somewhere. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, so when you do all this and it doesn't work, then you got to use your brain if you haven't been out killing it or abusing it with beer or whatever abusers you need. Another interesting little factoid is I found in the audio chain, I found a little tantalum capacitor. There's an annoyance. Me and the tantalum capacitor, or the tantalum capacitor and I, have a long-running duel. Most of it takes place on the parade ground of Tektronix oscilloscopes. Yes, like these. They have a lot of them on their boards, and they tend to blow up if you look at them wrong. They have their place, mostly in cell phones nowadays. You don't see too many tantalum capacitors in circuit anymore. This has been a really kind of an annoying little project. I've got it really ripped apart, and although I did get a lot of satisfaction out of fixing this, and I did remember some old tricks about thermally sensitive items. You don't think of transistors as being susceptible to those kinds of things, and I've always been very curious what makes a transistor kind of intermittent like that. I just substituted a generic transistor, which is always fun to get away with. You know, you look these up in the book, and oh, you better have this, and you better have that, and it sure seems like you really only need about a handful of transistors. Now, I'm sure there are some specific reasons they chose these transistors other than to have me get pissed off 20 years later. I still have a little bit to go through. I got to clean this all up, and you know, these caps need replacing and a little bit of cleaning. I'll check a few other things, do some little bit of spec work to make sure it's in spec, and do some cleaning. There's some generally nasty dirtiness here. I don't know. It's not bad, but it's not great. And there's a few other weirdnesses. This little bracket had a washer underneath that tried to run away from me. There it is. It's over there. All these little side trips tend to add up, and this is one of the reasons your bill can be kind of high. You know, you take this all apart and you got to do all this. It sure helps if the repair person's familiar with it, but you can only be familiar with so many items. That's why a lot of repair people tend to specialize. But even, you know, what do you specialize? You specialize in certain pieces of equipment, certain brands of equipment. Pick your poison there. Well, so that's just humming away nicely. Probably what I'll do is let me just show you this board for the fun of it. Thought you might enjoy this. I've kind of decided nowadays to, I used to, you know, kind of step through the whole repair of these things, which is somewhat boring. Everybody can take a, you know, hopefully can take a screw out of something. Unless you're working on a specific piece and want some idiosyncrasies, nobody cares. And so this is that little filter board. And the transistor I worked on was right here. And this is kind of weird. There's two here, and then with a third one, and then two here with a third one. So it's sort of, I don't know. All these caps will need to be replaced. And there's actually a few tantalums in there. There's an orange one there, a blue one, and a blue one, and a red one, and a red one. I don't know. I haven't decided what to do about those yet. And an innocent looking resistor that's actually a fuse. So, I don't know, a little more work. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go grab a bite to eat. Give my old brain box a little rest here. So, I'll talk to you later. Take her easy.